Good afternoon, my name is Corporal Clark. I will be giving a class on identifying terrain features on a military map. The overall risk assessment is low. Be cautious of electrical cords. The task, identify terrain features on a military map. Conditions, you are a member of a squad or team in a field environment and have been directed to identify the terrain features on a map. You have been given a 1/50,000 scale military map. Standards, identify the 5 major, 3 minor, and 2 supplementary terrain features on a military map. The first 5 major terrain features. First one is a hill, saddle, valley, ridge, and depression. A hill is identified as an area of high ground. You can tell by the contour lines on the map, the smallest one being the very top of the hill. You can see the elevation markings going up, and then this is obviously a picture in real life of a hill. The next feature is a saddle. It's a low point between 2 areas of high ground. It doesn't necessarily have to be between 2 hills. As you can see in this picture, just 2 areas of high ground, and then the middle part doesn't sink all the way back down to the level ground. It's just a slight dip, and then you can tell by the hourglass formation of the contour lines, the saddle on a military map. The next feature is a valley. It's a groove in the land. It's usually formed by streams of water or rivers running through over an extended amount of time. You can tell the contour lines on the map as U shapes or V shapes. The closed point of the contour lines will always face towards the highest part of the ground. Next feature is a ridge. It's a sloping area of high ground, as depicted in this picture. Even though it plateaus right here, it generally has a sloping feature to it. If you were to walk along the top part of the ridge, it'd have a gradual slope to it. Crossing it perpendicular wise, you'd have a very steep incline, and then you'd plateau at the top, and then a very steep decline on the other side of it. The contour lines on the map, the closed features of the contour lines point away from the high ground. The next feature is a depression. It's just an area of low point or a sinkhole. The contour lines are depicted in circular formation, the elevation going down. They also have tick marks going into facing towards the lowest point of the ground. And this is a picture of the real life depression in the ground. Check on learning question. This major terrain feature on the map. The answer is a valley. And then the next topic is 3 minor terrain features. You have a draw, a spur, and a cliff. And getting into the three minor terrain features, the first one is a draw. It can be described as a beginning to a valley. It's not quite as pronounced as a valley. It doesn't necessarily have to have water running through it or a stream to make the formation. When in a draw, there's little to no room to maneuver. And the contour lines are similar to a valley. They're U or V shaped right here. And the close end of the contour lines point uphill, just as the same as a valley would. And then in this hill right here, this is the draw. The next one is a spur. A continuous sloping line of high ground. It's normally found on the side of a ridge. It can be formed by two parallel streams coming off of the ridge. Not necessarily rivers, they could be, I guess, or creeks or just running water that cut formations in the side of the ridge. The contour lines are U or V shape again, and they point away from the high ground. As you can see here, right, they point down the spur. And the next feature is a cliff. This is pretty easy to depict. It's just pretty much a vertical plot of land. You can see the contour lines as they get so close together because the land is pretty much straight up and down. They run into one, and the tick marks face towards the low ground. So that's the lowest part is here. Another check on learning. What is this minor terrain feature on the map? Answer is a draw. There's also two supplementary terrain features. These are both man-made terrain features. You have your cut and your fill. The cut is man-made. It's made by cutting through an area of high ground. It's usually deeper than 10 feet. The contour lines run the entire length of the cut on the map, and if the map is detailed enough, it'll have tick marks that extend from the cut line to the roadbed. And you can see the cut through the mountain. This is done to make roads or railways through mountains. And then on the other hand, you have your fill. It fills in areas of low points. It looks similar to a cut on the contour lines. The tick marks face away towards the lowest part of the ground. Again, if there's a detailed enough map. This is also done, the same picture, to make railways or roads. In summary, identify the 5 major, 3 minor, and 2 supplementary terrain features on a map, and then how the contour lines are identified, where the high grounds and low grounds are. Going to conduct an AAR. What was the intent of this class? Are there any sustains? And are there any improves? And are there any questions pertaining to this class?